All right, to all my 90s kids or anybody who was born near the 90s, we're talking late 80s or early 2000s, people who grew up with a lot of TeenNick shows. We've talked about Drake and Josh, Ned's Declassified, The Amanda Show, All That, iCarly, and Zoey 101, and Romeo Show, and many others that pertain to a great deal of entertainment for our childhood and throughout our kid, preteen, and teen years, and even young adult years. Great shows, and these shows are what made TeenNick what it is, or at least what it was. Now, so this show here, so the Zoey 101 ran from '05 to '08. 15 years later, they have a sequel that comes in the form of a movie that's going to be released only on Paramount Plus on July 27th. I'm there, and I know a lot of you will be there too. Now, and that is a lot of good news right there. The good news is we have a good number of the cast members who are going to reprise their roles as the characters that they've played and what we've known them to be and what they've played there. A number of them, on the other hand, are not going to be there. So, as I've stated before, who are the returning characters? The returning characters and cast members would be Jamie Lynn Spears as Zoey, the title character. I think that's obvious. Didn't even have to say that part. Sean Flynn as Chase, Christopher Massey as Michael, Aaron Sanders as Quinn, Matthew Underwood as Logan, Jack Salvatore as Mark, and Abby Wilde as Stacy. Now, who's not going to be here? I'll tell you who's not going to be in it. Paul Butcher as Zoe's little brother, Dustin. Now, I was a little bit surprised about that. How could they not have the brother in there? And I know that there was, he was in the show all 4 seasons of the original. Of course, his role in the show wasn't quite as big as, some of the other people. They had greater roles there. But there's another article that details why he wasn't there, I guess. And before I dive into that, let's talk about some of the others who aren't going to be here. We're not going to see the return of Austin Butler as James, Victoria Justice as Lola, Kristin Herrera as Dana, and more notably, Alexa Nicholas as Nicole. Now, that one right there, I think is the other people in there weren't in this upcoming sequel for simple reasons. Her reason for not being in it is much, much bigger, which I do not have time to detail in this show. I will talk about that in another video. But let's start with 2 of them. So Kristin Herrera and Victoria Justice. Why are they not going to be in this? Well, let's see, right here. This one right here says, why isn't Victoria Justice in Zoey 102? Victoria, who played Lola, isn't reprising her role because there were scheduling conflicts and she was ultimately unable to join the production. However, she explained to Kristen Maldonado during an interview that she wishes the movie and its cast well. She said, quote unquote, I had a lot going on at the moment, to be honest, and timing wise, it was just hard to make it all work. It was not because of a lack of love for the cast or for that show. I am so grateful people to that whole time in my life and for being on that show. She added, that show is what put me on the map in that whole world, and I had the best time making it. I love that cast so much, each of them. They all hold a very special place in my heart. It's clear that there is no bad blood whatsoever between Victoria and her former co-stars, with previous obligations responsible for her Zoey 102 absence. Now, Kristin Herrera, what does she have going on? Well, let's check it out. I just pulled it up right here. I had something here. Okay, for the Zoey 102 movie, Kristin Herrera revealed in the comments on an Instagram post she was offered the chance to reprise her role, but turned it down to focus on raising her child. However, she admitted it would have been fun playing with her again. So what's been going on with her ever since she left the show? Keep in mind, she was only there for the first season, and I guess she was booted off the show because she supposedly kept forgetting her lines, and there were some other personal issues that weren't really detailed. As far as what's been going on since she left the show, any film roles, she starred in a movie called Freedom Writers, and she was also in Resurrection Mary. And then she also had guest appearances in shows like NYPD Blue, Seventh Heaven, The Division, The Bernie Mac Show, ER, General Hospital, Without a Trace, and all that. What's going on in her personal life right here? In July of 2016, she announced via Instagram that she is engaged to longtime partner Daniel Novak. Their engagement ended shortly afterwards. However, in February of 2020, she announced that they were engaged again. They had their child in May of 2022. They got married that following October. And so besides that, so that's the main reason. So she's not going to be there either. This article also says, why isn't Paul Butcher in the Zoey 102 reboot? Paul played Dustin Brooks in the original series, but has suggested through social media that he's not interested in reviving the Zoey 101 franchise with a new movie or show. Oh, that's interesting. I think he's the only person in the whole group that said that. Everybody else wanted the show to come back, but I guess he had his own reasons. Let's see if those reasons are here. One TikTok shows him using a picture of the world with his eyes and mouth superimposed over it, saying, I mean, what if we don't want a Zoey 101 reboot anymore? To reinforce that he made a conscious and personal choice not to star, the video was captioned QUEUE, JoJo, too little, too late, commenting on the post itself, read the room. This suggests that he feels others share his disinterest in the project, and he even liked comments on the post including, no one wants this, and variations of the same. Okay, hey, that's him, and hey, good job to him on the show. He's done well, and I'm sure he's done well in some of his projects afterwards. I haven't really seen any of his, any movies or shows he may have done. So that's who's not going to be in the show. And again, as I said, Alexa Nicholas, she won't be in the show either. And anybody who followed anything from her on Instagram or seen any of her interviews afterwards, there are clear reasons why she won't be back. But that is going to have to be talked about in another video. So Kristin Herrera, Victoria Justice, and Paul Butcher, they won't be in 102, but the other ones will be. And again, Paramount Plus, July 27th. I'm going to be there, and I hope you're all there too.